On this week's episode, we talk all about the new collaboration with Adidas.
And I got to interview community members Jen and Alan and their amazing story. And much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 31 of Pelo Buddy TV. I'm Amanda Siegel and I'm joined by my co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Hey now, how are you, Amanda?
I like that, hey now. I am good, John. I am good. How are you?
Good, things are going well in Michigan. What's going on in sunny Florida?
Yeah, it feels good to be down here. It feels really good to be down here. And I actually brought my parents with me, which was the first time that they have left DC, Maryland area since the pandemic started. They are both vaccinated, and it's been really nice. So I feel good. I feel good.
You can really see the color contrast with me being washed out and pale on this frame, and you're nice and colorful and tan in your in your room in Florida.
I appreciate you saying that, but I will say though that I have been very cautious. I know I have a lot of my Pelo Buddy followers that watch the show that have been conscious of my being in the sun, and this is probably one of the first years that I am really protecting myself. So I've after Christine's incident, and one of the girls that I've become really friendly with on Peloton, and Ben's, Ben, I have become much more conscious of it. So it's, 55 and umbrella, but I do have an olive skin. My mom is Middle Eastern, well, not really. She's French and from, that part. And so she has a pretty olive skin. So it is the olive skin. I'm making all these excuses here. But I don't want anyone to think that I'm being irresponsible. I am being very responsible being down here. Best part about it, John, is that I still get to ride, and that is just amazing. So I'm really thrilled. So John, before we get started with the news, we'd like to remind you guys how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode.
Yeah, and if you also prefer to listen to us in traditional podcast format, we're on all podcast platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV, hit subscribe there, and click notifications so you never miss an episode. And leave us a review. We'd love to get your feedback, and if you have a suggestion or possible interview, we would love to hear how we can improve the show.
Yeah, and we've really appreciated so many of you reaching out. I know we've had some sound issues, and we're working on it. We want to make sure that this is audible for you guys and you enjoy listening to us. I know tons of you listen on podcast. As John had said, they're on all these different platforms. So we really are striving to have a well-oiled machine going forward. But of course, we are on Facebook and Instagram. So just hit the subscribe, and you can certainly keep us up to date on all of those platforms as well, like follow us. And then that way you never miss any news. And what we always like to do on the show is just kind of go over what's going on with the news in Peloton for the week. And oh my word, this has been a week to remember. It's been a pretty full week. So I guess, John, you get to hit it off.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
We've been reporting lately on a new upcoming Adidas collaboration with Peloton. So it was just announced this past week officially that Adidas and Peloton have officially announced their collaboration. So we reported on this about a week or so ago, thanks to an on-demand class from Cody that was released too soon and then was quickly pulled from the library. As well as sort of a vague press release from Adidas. But partnership is beginning with an apparel collection, but according to CNBC, the companies say it's the start of an ongoing collaboration with more to come. So the partnership will include an aspiring apparel collection that will officially go on sale on March 25th on Peloton, Adidas, as well as some other third-party retailers. We've already posted some pictures of some of the items, some of the shirts, hoodies. It's an 11-piece collection. It'll include tanks, tights, shorts, hoodies, t-shirts, crew necks, sport bras, and joggers, pricing from $30 to $85. And it was designed with Ali Love, Robin Arzon, and Cody Rigsby. And there'll be some special on-demand classes, as we already know, with the teased Cody one, which just dropped, to celebrate the new line, including the Cody one that we just mentioned. And there'll also be a live class celebrating the collection drop on March 25th. So stay tuned for more. I know Cody, as well as Robin, had recently shared on Good Morning America. Cody had said, we as a group wanted pieces of this clothing to represent what we stand for. And for me, that's not conforming to what normal is. Trust I'll be grabbing a few pieces from the women's side. That was from Cody. And then Robin had this to say. She said, this community is an inspiration to us, and we made this so that anyone can feel confident and empowered every time they wear one of these pieces.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's so awesome. Yeah. I mean, it is a great collection. There were definitely one or two things in there that I would say I would pick up. But oh my goodness, I don't know if I can have any more Peloton apparel in my wardrobe.
I know. There's some men's leggings in there too. I might get those. I don't know. I'll have to see. I already have a pair of Boo Crew men's leggings, or meggings as they call them, and I haven't really worn them that much. But
I don't know. I want to see Prue in those leggings. That's going to be a sight.
Maybe with short, I'll do it like Alex does. He sometimes wears leggings with the shorts, because I need my pockets. I got to have my chapstick and my essentials in the pockets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll rock it. Maybe I'll rock it that way.
Alex, and I think Adrian does as well. I've seen Adrian Williams doing the same thing on some of his strength
Cody
stuff.
does. Cody does too, but they can pull it off. They can definitely pull it off. Me, it's questionable.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wait and see. Wait and see. Well, John, I have to say that I am thrilled to get to be the one to share that the new Covent Garden London UK studio has been reported that it nears completion, and it is looking to being opened probably rather soon. One of the directors, Oliver Driscoll of the construction company Knight Harwood, had posted on his social that the team had handed over the project to Peloton and that the client was very happy. Lots to look forward to from this new studio, John. Oh my goodness. I have been fortunate enough to have been in the original studio, which was just off Piccadilly Circus, off Oxford Street. And with this new one being down in Covent Garden, it is going to be huge. The space occupies over 20,000 square feet.
Wow.
And it'll be amazing. There will be a super large treadmill studio with 23 treads, a spin studio with 35 bikes, and a third flex studio, obviously to allow for yoga, strength, and other floor-based classes that the instructors will be able to do. There's also going to be a lounge area for members to hang out in, and of course space to display Peloton equipment and for purchase, as well as apparel and accessories. And then, of course, there will be the production studios where the classes are obviously filmed, which will be, a huge part of that. And I'm sure they'll be able to have a couple so that they are able to do bike and tread potentially at the same time. So with such a large treadmill studio, John, we do ask the question, though, is when is Peloton going to announce who the next UK instructors are, or even German for that matter, who will do tread classes? right?
Yeah.
No one's been named, and of course we're all waiting with bated breath to hear who will in fact be the ones on the tread doing those, or potentially, hey, they may even be hiring new folks, right? We certainly know Bradley Rose is out there somewhere in the world of Peloton, and we're waiting patiently to see if anything happens with him being back in London. So we do know that that's certainly coming. We just don't have any word on when that would happen. And John, lastly, and probably the bit that I find the most exciting about the project is that one of the production studios will have a window from the street. So folks that are walking by can in fact get a behind the scenes view, and they can watch production as it happens.
That's really cool.
Isn't that how awesome? How awesome.
That's like a Today Show peak, on the street at NBC. Very cool.
Exactly. So we got to see some pictures. And it does look like, and I forget, have you been to London? Have you ever been just to London generally?
15 years ago, when my sister and brother-in-law lived there, 2005 was the only time and last time I was there.
All right. So I am fortunate just because of work. I had traveled to London a couple times a year, and Covent Gardens is one of my favorite places. So the location is fantastic. It is in the central, it is in pretty much central London. It's in a great location. So I'm really looking forward to that opening. But I do want to note, John, folks it was interesting because when Chris had announced, obviously, about the production studio being opened and this, going out there, somebody had mentioned about there being, they need to recognize that London isn't the UK and that there's more to London. But I guess folks do forget that it is a production studio. While it is an ability for folks to be able to take live classes and to be in the studio, think about the States. We're a huge country. And there's only one studio in New York, and that's because of the purpose and the premise behind Peloton, which is the ability to work out from home. And, it would be a huge expense to have multiple production studios. So I know it sounds frustrating to those folks that kind of hear about it, but if you actually think, about the thought process behind Peloton and what they're doing, it makes sense. Put it in a central location where they can obviously attract good staff,
talent,
and talent, of course, from the instructor perspective as well, but even just staff, in general, is really what it's all about. So I did want to kind of add that in there because I know that folks have, certainly voiced that and been frustrated, but just so folks know that that's the reason. That's the reason.
Yeah.
We're not meant to go into the studio. That's really like a luxury, and it's obviously an ability for us to be able to be in these live classes. But certainly, as we've seen the last year, the classes can be very effective even with no one in the studio. So that is something for folks to remember. And then, John, on a more somber note, a letter from CEO John Foley was distributed this past week, and of course we have to talk about it here. It was sent to all Tread Plus owners, acknowledging the death of a child from one of our Peloton community members that had occurred due to the Tread Plus. The letter was so heartfelt, John, and this is just obviously devastating to us. We are such a close community, but Foley, admitting it had hit him personally, as the leader of the pack. I'm sure that this is something that has really hit him to the core, and certainly for the team. But he does go on to remind members to be extra careful, especially, in these times when our kids are home more and they are around the equipment, while we're working out, and, that we may forget to take that safety key out of the tread when we're done with the workout. So the letter does go on to ask folks and members to familiarize themselves with all the safety instructions and safety features, on the equipment. And while this is certainly one of the hardest stories that we've had to talk about on here, because I think it's hitting everybody as a community, right? Devastating.
So sad. Well, I saw a video on maybe it was TikTok or Instagram of a woman working out on her Tread Plus, and her child was playing in the background, and one of those large inflatable exercise balls just started rolling towards the tread, and you see it just get pulled under there, and the back of it goes way up and catapults her kind of into the wall front forward.
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy how, things can get pulled under there so easily. But yeah, just God, it breaks my heart to hear,
doesn't it?
To hear something like that. And that's the first I've heard of a fatality like that. Yeah. But my heart goes out to that family.
Right. Look, you've got a son, a young son, and he's obviously responsible, and we all hope that kids are. But things can happen. Accidents can happen in the split second of a moment, and while obviously it's no fault of anyone specific, it does hit us all to the core. And from us here at Pelo Buddy, we certainly want to wish our heartfelt condolences to the family and to the community. So we had to bring it in here.
Well, moving on to other news in the Pelo universe, Amanda, we have now reported that class stacking is available for some Android app users. So just recently, Peloton had added, sessions and the stacking feature to the tread and to the bike. And we've now received reports that some Android users are now able to stack in the latest version of the Android operating system. It seems like it's being slowly pushed out to Android users, so not everyone has it, but we've added some screenshots of how it looks in order to stack classes on the Android app for Peloton. So hopefully that means us iPhone users will be getting that very soon, because it'll be nice to quickly do that on the app and then seamlessly go to it, on the bike or tread when you're ready to begin your workout.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know that that's something that people are waiting for with bated breath, because it is easier to do it on your phone, and then kind of just jump on the bike, and when you're ready to actually do that. So yeah, definitely. Waiting on
and I know you can go to the website, the one Peloton website, but it's just like I'm too lazy. I don't want to do that.
I know. You know what? I actually must be honest.
I'll just go to the bike.
I actually, on my phone, I did load the website. So I have it on as a shortcut on my phone. But truthfully, I never even use it. I just go to the bike to do it. Bike to do it. So I think that will be something that we'll look forward to having. John. So we've also been seeing a lot of our instructors returning back onto the platform after some very well-deserved time off. So some of them for as much as long as 2 weeks or more that they'd been out of commission and took as I said, really well-deserved time off. Last week we spoke about Christine coming back from her scary melanoma scare and diagnosis, and it was wonderful to have her back on the schedule. Folks were so thrilled, and to see her looking healthy and just such a force to be reckoned with. She's amazing. We also got to see Jen Sherman come back, and she was really excited last Sunday, being back on the platform with that 60-minute ride, which was amazing. So we got to see her. So and then we got to see Maddie come back. This week, we'll get Dennis back on the platform. Jess Sims will be back, and Alex. So again, they all deserved. We spoke about it last week. They all deserved this, time off. Nobody's going on vacation, and sometimes staycations are just as much needed as when you're actually going away, and well deserved to all of them. But we're excited to have them back. I know folks that work out with them, regularly, certainly missed them on the platform.
Is Jess Sims, is she actually scheduled to come back? Because I know she was just taking more time, and I know my wife was anxious to get back to her live Saturday 60s with her, but I didn't know she was...
Control room can confirm for us. But as far as I understood, she was going to be back on the platform.
Okay.
So let's hope that if... Fantastic, John. Monday the 29th. Yep, Bike Boot Camp.
Right.
Tell Jax she can get ready. Thank you, Control Room, for sending that feed. But yeah, so awesome to get everybody back on and back onto the platform.
Great. Well, we have another acquisition rumor, Amanda, from our trusty Bob Tremor. This one being possible acquisition of the company. I've never heard of them, Atlas Wearables, a smartwatch company. So our trusty Bob Tremor recently discovered that the two founders apparently have updated their LinkedIn profiles to now show they are working for Peloton. So don't know how that would play into it. It's kind of all that we know right now, but they do have some proprietary, Peloton could be using some of their patents, obviously, to incorporate into some of their already existing software. I know Atlas Wearables, they have this exercise ID software that counts all kinds of exercise movements. So I wonder if that could be incorporated into Peloton strength training. Who knows? But obviously, we'll continue to report it here first as soon as we get it.
Yeah, awesome. What it also looks like, Australia may not be the only new country Peloton is looking at for expansion, John. There have been some more Peloton trademark filings, and these are now worldwide. The list of the countries that we have access to and have determined that Pelo Buddy has determined, in fact, that these are the countries are China, Korea, Israel, Mexico, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, and Switzerland. Of course, we do need to remember, though, that just because a trademark was filed doesn't necessarily mean that Peloton will launch there. But it had been mentioned, as you remember us reporting, by Jill Woodworth in her interview with KeyBank. She had mentioned, and we had mentioned it in a previous episode, that they're definitely looking at expanding globally. I guess, time, and of course us here at Pelo Buddy, that will certainly keep you posted on developments as they've become known to us. But for right now, these trademarks, and you know what, John, maybe they're just looking at securing it, and whether they're actually going to go into these markets or not, we'll just have to wait and see. But it's exciting to know. New Zealand certainly does seem appropriate considering Australia and them being neighbors, so I would assume that would be, an appropriate a place, but I guess we'll wait and see.
Wow. Well, there was an interesting One Peloton blog posting all about the making of outdoor run classes, the audio runs that Peloton puts on the app. And it basically discussed the making of those with Peloton tread instructor Selena Samuela, talking all about the prep that she does, which is way more involved, she says, than just teaching a live or on-demand studio run class. So the production obviously takes a lot longer. There's more people involved with putting it together, with the editing, the mixing, the leveling of all the sound. So it's just perfect for when they push it out. But kind of an interesting sort of behind the scenes. She states, she's running there right with you. She's obviously running in the studio. She's not outside, running the streets of New York City while she's doing it. But she's going through all the motions with us as we run outside, listening to her. And she obviously the audio is important, so she's really focused on all the cues, so you can really feel her guiding you as you go step by step wherever you are, outside doing it. So it's kind of cool. A little behind the scenes take of that. I was always curious with, the scenic rides, how they do that. 'Cause I always thought it was a drone, but apparently it's somebody walking along with the whole rig strapped to their waist, with a camera gimbal. And it's just, that's how kind of because it almost feels like a drone floating, on some of those scenic rides when you watch it just moving along a trail. So it's kind of cool.
Yes. Very cool. Well, that's going to be amazing to get to see. I'm sure there is. I mean, it's got to be a ton that goes into it in preparing for those. But wow, that's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to that coming out.
Yeah.
I think that certainly is going to be fun. Peloton has certainly been busy on the classes perspective, and we saw a drop of some very special classes this past week. Lauryn Hill was our latest artist series that had dropped, and Tunde did a ride. There was a run with Jess King, a strength class with Adrian, and a yoga flow with Anna Greenberg. You know, Lauryn Hill, John, oh my God, she is a magical artist that really fuses together rap, soul, reggae, and more into like an eclectic sound that she creates. So there is no question that those were very well received by folks on the platform. And I saw some amazing Insta stories that had popped up of folks that had done it. I have not had an opportunity to do the ride yet with Tunde, but that's definitely something that's been bookmarked because tons of folks said it was amazing. The timing was difficult because it was it was on Wednesday at 5:30, and I wasn't able to do it. So yeah. And then
I
yesterday,
saw that Alex did Tunde. I saw he posted that he did the Lauryn Hill ride with her. Yeah, because she reposted his story on Insta, and I joined, like so many classes that I miss. I joined the Insta Live afterwards, and hear all about what I missed, and getting all the FOMO from that.
Right, FOMO. I was just going to say, having the FOMO to want to jump on. Well, I certainly felt that way.
I chime right in, and Tunde says, "Hey, John," and then she goes, "Were any of you all in the class?" And then I quickly hush up.
Yeah, she called you out, huh? That's too funny. That's too funny.
Can't make them all.
Exactly. Although I don't know, Jen Sherman seems to think that you can. So I saw that amazing shout out that she gave you. And what is this, Prue? Are you on activity number 9 for the day? Having done a million things. Yeah, you are pretty wild. Very impressive. Very impressive. I think I said it to you. I aspire to be you, Kenny Banya. I'll just stick with Siglo 3 and getting on whenever I can. Trying hard. But yeah, so yesterday Jess King got to do her 7th Peloversary ride. So she, isn't it amazing? I mean, she's also one of the first instructors on the platform, and that was really exciting for her. She was so excited about it, and had posted on social. So that was really fun to see. And Christine got to do. I guess she's Irish, maybe. I'm presuming this, but she did the St. Patrick's Day ride on the bike. So she celebrated with everybody, and that was on Wednesday with a 30-minute St. Patty's Day ride, dressed in green, and there were tons of folks that had done that as well. So lots of new stuff on the platform.
Very nice. Well, what else do we have? So we have a new Flash Challenge. And
tell us, yeah.
And as I was looking this one up, I joined it because I can probably actually earn this one. So for all you badge-hungry badge lovers out there, new Flash Challenge. So very simple. Complete 6 interval classes in 14 days from March 19th to April 1. So this includes HIIT rides, high-intensity interval training, interval. So you could do arms and intervals. That would count. A straight Tabata class. You can find them by searching, just select interval in the search filter on the bike or tread or the app. So very straightforward. I think I can handle that. I think I can commit to that.
I'm going to be very honest with our amazing Pelo Buddy viewers and listeners. I will not be earning that badge.
No?
John, I am just not a Tabata or HIIT rider. I tried a HIIT class this past week with Leanne. I thought I was going to die. I know I need to get there, but I think we'll reserve this challenge for somewhere down the road. I am not going to commit to getting a badge.
Well, I feel like so many of the live class. I feel like HIIT and Hills is so. I don't know if people Peloton just gets great numbers with those, but I feel like so many classes are hitting hills, and I always find myself doing them because they're live and they're with some of my favorite instructors. So I know this is easily attainable for me. But I've been liking, the workout with the sprints and, some of those high-paced, intervals that they do in those types of workouts. So I'm not worried about earning that one. I'll get that one easy.
Awesome. Good for you.
Yeah. So what else? We have some instructors in the news. Plenty of that this week. So there was an interesting article in Elle magazine titled Inside the Peloverse, rather. And I really enjoyed this one, Amanda, because it really dived into the community aspect of the Pelo universe. So it talked a lot about, all the different dedicated Facebook member groups that you and I are active in or are a part of, as well as tons of other accounts on social media, especially Instagram and TikTok. Dr. Jenna Jacobson was quoted. She's an assistant professor in retail management at Ryerson University, and she said, this brand, speaking on Peloton, she said, this brand has really become embedded into individuals' lifestyles. She said Peloton sales skyrocketed during the pandemic, in part because of consumers' commitment to fitness, yes, but also because of this sense of community and connectivity it provides to users who are sitting home alone and unable to connect. And that's the Peloton special sauce, is the community. The instructors are first rate and the production is A+, but the community aspect of it is, when you really embrace it, that's what really pulls you in. And you find this whole other layer, whole other aspect of it that just, it doesn't compare to, some of the other fitness companies, the way we can connect virtually, especially now. But I kind of loved how it talked about, our friends Jenna and Katie on the Peloton Means Instagram. It referenced them and their page and a lot of the different popular tags that people use to connect, that they add to their leaderboard names when they work out. So it was fun reading, about some of my favorite things that I like, some of the subgroups, on Facebook and social media. And we also had a recent.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it is absolutely, and I'm finding it more and more. Certainly in the last few months, I have connected with so many new people, and I almost feel sorry for folks that don't. I mean, to each his own, right? Everybody does, what they do for their own reasons. But I have to say that there is no question that the commitment that I have given to continuing to be active is because of the community, is because I just want to be part of the community. I love riding with friends. I love celebrating friends' milestones or, certain aspects of it. So good for Elle for picking that up and, sharing that with everybody. I love it.
And there's no doubt, I can say without question now, without the community and that level of involvement, my level of engagement would be nothing. Who knows how much I would be working out without that connection. So it's huge. It's such a massive part of it. But in another recent article on Vox, they had a chance to interview a Peloton delivery driver, Marianne Eason. And she kind of spoke about, with the whole pandemic, how that's kind of affected the process, the interaction with new Peloton members with their deliveries. And she said, with the numbers of the virus spiking, we're doing a version of delivery where we spend 15, 20 minutes maximum in their house. They basically just, connect the Wi-Fi. They make sure everything is up and running. And then once they get in the van, they basically walk them through over the phone all of their questions. They don't want to leave new members hanging. And I remember when I was just getting a recent bike swap, the two delivery people even told me, we can't be in here, for more than a few minutes. That's kind of the COVID, response to once they've returned to entering people's homes, decreasing that exposure. And then, I was wearing a mask as well. So I guess they're still trying to make the process as white glove as possible, despite, the current times.
Well, you know that I'm not going to be remiss in sharing my my recent fun whatever over this past week. But it's so funny because they are
I need some backstory
amazing.
On this.
They are truly, I have to tell you, who would think? But I think they love the Peloton, whether they're service, and I'll give you two quick stories, but whether it's service or whether it's delivery, I think they really love their jobs. And I think they see, and they certainly get what they're doing as far as changing people's lives. People are so excited about the time that they're finally getting their bikes being delivered or their treads being delivered. They've waited months for this. They've, been on social, so they've seen the community, they've seen how everybody is, and now they're finally doing this. But yeah, so last week I get this video sent to me, and the backstory was basically one of my best friends here down in Florida had seen a Peloton delivery guy in his neighborhood, and he's in marketing. He's just a really cool guy. I'll give him a shout out, Bruce Himmelstein. The funny thing about it, John, is that he doesn't have a damn Peloton. And I said to him, I said, Bruce, you don't even have a bike. I said, I need to get you on my show, and I can only get you on my show if you get a piece of hardware. But he truly is a phenomenal guy. But so Bruce had seen this Peloton guy, this delivery guy, and said, you have to do this for me. I have, my wife's best friend is a Peloton junkie, and he ended up, honestly, I don't know whether they scripted it or how they did it, but they ended up talking about the fact that Bruce had asked him to move his truck, and he said, I'll be just a minute. He goes, I have this really big delivery to do. I need to deliver 200 bikes to this member. Her name's Amanda Siegel. And Bruce goes, oh my goodness, are you kidding? She's very popular. and it was just, it made my day. I was beside myself. But the funny thing is that I posted it obviously on social, and everyone thought it was real. Not everybody. I had a handful of people saying, wow, you're opening up Pelotons. I guess people that don't have Pelotons don't understand the concept, and no, a Peloton studio, while it's a cool idea, is not what it's all about, right? The same as we spoke about about where the studios do open up and why there's only 2 in the world, is for that reason. But that was fun, and the guy was Pedro. To shout out to delivery guy Pedro down in Boca Raton, Florida, for being a sport and for just making my
it was very well acted out.
Wasn't it? Brilliant. I mean, he was amazing. Somebody had posted, vote for Pedro.
Yeah, great improv, Pedro. Bravo.
He was amazing. And I actually did have you're talking about, Vox and these guys, they truly are amazing. So I actually had a tread swap out. And I'm going to mention it just because I didn't even know that it was an issue, but my tread is just about 2 years old, and I was hearing an awful noise when I was going up on incline. And I don't use the tread much. I think I told you, no, it was actually something called the bushing. So apparently in the slats, are you familiar with that term? I wasn't familiar with it, but apparently the bushing that they had originally used when they first produced these Peloton treads was a steel bushing, and it started to rub and it created this awful noise. But because I don't use the tread much, I never called. And of course, when my bike was being swapped out, my husband said to me, you're quick to think about yourself and your bike, but could you get my damn treadmill fixed? So the guys came out this past week to swap out, and they actually did swap out my entire tread. And they had said they've now switched it over to a brass bushing, and there's no sound from it. But they were just so amazing. And I asked them, I said to him, have you been with the company long? And he goes, yep. He goes, right when Tread was launched, I've been with the company since then. And, he said it's one of the most amazing companies to work for. So that really made me feel good. They were so appreciative, and, loved having them, be there to get me sorted. So, just wanted to throw out those two things.
Well, we also had another article, this time in the New York Times, titled, "This is Your Brain on Peloton," and it talked all about focused on one of my favorites, my boo Cody Rigsby. And the article kicks off saying, "I think I've discovered the key to an active lifestyle. His name is Cody Rigsby, and he looks like a piece of Disney fan art." The author went on to say, "And Rigsby has the energy of a messy podcast host. As he rides, he might lead the class in a skills ranking of defunct boy bands." And Cody has made no qualms about stating that Kevin Richardson is the hottest Backstreet Boy, or break down the previous night's television event, the day after Oprah's big interview with Harry and Meghan Markle. Cody began the class saying he's bringing Meghan Markle energy to the class, to the ride. And it talked about also connecting again with tags. The popular one right now is obviously Free Britney. That's a popular tag now if you haven't added it. Pelo for wine. We people love their alcohol on that leaderboard. So there's lots of different wine and alcohol related tags. But it was just a really funny, great write up all about Cody. So another great article featuring one of our most popular instructors right now.
Yeah, no, there's no question that they are constantly in the news in some form, right? Whether it be online, whether it be in a magazine. And I get to report we saw 5 of our beloved instructors featured in Shape magazine. That article was, how do they get to look so damn good through every class? And it's the truth. And it was all about makeup and just kind of the makeup that that the instructors use and how they prepare for these classes. And, we've said before, it is a production. It is if, it may not be on a stage where they're dancing or performing on a stage, but they're performing on their piece of equipment, whether it be the bike, tread, or even down on the floor. So the magazine had featured Tunde, Ali, Kendall, Aditi, and Olivia. And you can certainly head over to Pelo Buddy, pelobuddy.com to see how you too can look hot while sweating it out on one of the pieces of hardware. Yeah.
Did you see any of them post on their Instagrams the little behind the scenes snippets? I
saw Kendall's.
Kendall's was great because you see the fan blowing and she's whipping her hair up, and you can see the still from it, the finished product. But it was funny seeing them talking to her. Somebody was shouting out, "Oh, she's a natural." It was kind of fun seeing that from that perspective behind the scenes.
I love that they showed that, and I actually messaged Kendall and said, I'm so glad that you took us behind the scenes because we see this, and it was fun to get to see how it was prepared and the photographer, and it was so lovely to see Aditi, and Olivia and those folks that we don't tend to see, out there as much because both of them are just stunning. I mean, absolutely gorgeous, and it was so lovely. So Ali's always spoken about her makeup regime and what she's done, and we've seen that just on her own personal instas. So it was nice to see that focus through Shape magazine, and so many of us women love Shape and certainly like to be able to see that. So so if you want to know how hot you can look while you're working out, then you can head over to pelobuddy.com to read more. Emma Lovewell also got a feature this past week, and that was in Rue magazine. She actually was on the cover. So she was on the cover of Rue, and then inside got to talk about her latest renovation that she just did. I was thinking of a cool word to use with that, but her and her beau had just done an amazing renovation, and we got to see or read about that. So yeah, awesome. And she was very appreciative and had mentioned it on her social, how appreciative she was that Rue had picked her up. And then lastly, Matt Wilpers, he was featured in a triathlete magazine talking about his daily routine. So it was nice to see Matt being featured as well.
What was the title? Yeah. The title of that one was the baby-faced assassin, I think. Is that it?
That is exactly what it was. Yep, you got me there. That was exactly what it was. And he is. I mean, he is a machine. And you wouldn't expect it, right? When you see him, you're right. He's got this baby face, and then he literally comes out with guns blazing and a workout to die. I won't say to die for, because I don't know if I'm dying for it.
And a double threat, too, on the run, tread platform side and bike.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, in other instructor life updates, congrats to DJ John Michael and his partner Brian King. They tied the knot and got married. And Sam Yo just celebrated a birthday, and I don't know if you took the ride, Amanda, but it looks from the screenshot I saw of it, looks like they brought him out a little cake because he's holding it in the screenshot of the class at the end. So that was super cute. So happy birthday, Sam.
Yeah, it was very cool. So tons that was going on with the instructors, and we just can't seem to keep up. I know that Chris Lewis was saying that it was a week of just constant posting of articles, but we always like to bring it to you in a condensed form here on Pelo Buddy. So
just give you the hits.
Yeah. So then,
the cliff notes.
Certainly, remember, if you do want to read more about it, we don't want to make, we're finding that because John and I tend to kind of get into it and we're so involved that we'd make these news stories into a whole story for you, which I hope you enjoy.
Our little, I like the side conversation banter.
Yeah, because I think both of us are so involved, in the community and in the instructors' lives, and we love to be able to report it. But certainly, certainly for you folks that want to get more into the articles or hear the podcasts or hear the whatever's we're sharing, head over to pelobuddy.com because it is all there. And Chris does an amazing job. The website has actually just been revamped and it's looking incredible, so much easier to follow. So Chris has done an amazing job in that, and kudos to him. So head over to pelobuddy.com to get full, more information. But it's for us to be able to just present to you the tidbits. So hope you got to enjoy that. I guess we get on to
I didn't get to chime in when you were discussing the new studio in London, but I'm curious to know, do you think they will get Tread Pluses, or do you think they will all be Treads in there?
It's funny because when I was actually preparing for the article, I tried to see if there was information on that, and there wasn't. I didn't seem to see anything specific. It just said Tread on the, and again, if you head over to pelobuddy.com, you can see the, what do you call it, the architectural whatever.
The footprint, the blueprint.
Blueprint. Thank you. So you can get to see that on there, and it doesn't say, it just says Tread Studio. But it would be interesting because with them not being able to, not selling Tread Pluses in the UK and Germany, what they'll have. So I guess that's something for us to look out for and see what they end up doing.
Yeah,
I know
it was a random thought that popped in.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Leanne and Ben had gotten a Tread, and I do believe that it was a regular Tread. Do you remember? I could be mistaken, but I think I remember on social them talking about that.
Yeah, I would think if they're obviously in the UK, they get what's available. I don't.
Right. Yeah. So I would assume Treads.
I know Rebecca Kennedy, she just got a full size, the Tread Plus for her little room that she's been converting with the help of Andy Spear. Because I had kidded her, I was like, "Oh, are you gonna get your Tread once you get that bike paid off?" I guess you're gonna get the lower cost Tread. If you get approved through a firm, joking, busting her chops.
Joking.
And she goes, "No, I'm going Tread Plus, baby, all the way," and she got it.
That's awesome. And again, they're so big that for some of the instructors that are in Manhattan, it's hard to have one of those big Treads.
I know Allie's got the smaller Tread. Emma Lovewell at the new home they're renovating, she got the smaller Tread. But I think it was Olivia when she was teaching from home. I feel like in some of the screenshots I saw of her runs, her Tread Plus was basically in a doorway. Wherever she had it angled, because she's probably in a smaller size apartment in New York City.
Right. And didn't Maddie, Maddie did his out of his mom's house, right? He was
in the basement.
When he was doing
basically
from home.
His head's hitting the ceiling.
Right. So that's interesting. So I guess, John, picks of the week.
Week.
I'm going to let you go first this week. I'm going to let you go first. Tell us.
Beauty before age.
Whatever. Whatever. I know, I
Well,
do. I have a different
got-
look. John, I have a different look this week. I mean, you didn't even acknowledge the fact that I have that workout, pulled back hair look this week. First time that I've done this on the show. So,
Well, the thumbnail picture of you, Amanda, is so tiny, I can barely make out the details. I see a black tank with a white Peloton logo, and you're way tanner, and that's all that stands out.
well, hopefully when we go live, you'll get to watch it.
Yeah.
So
So
tell
I've
us.
got two picks. I got some tough ones this week. Some hard workouts on the bike and tread. So Kendall's, I know you're not a HIIT fan, as you said earlier, but Kendall's 30-minute HIIT and Hills from Tuesday the 16th. A great ride, tough and challenging. So if you're looking for a hard workout with Kendall, it's a great ride. And I did Rebecca's 60-minute advanced boot camp on the tread from Monday, March 15th. And that was another doozy, tough one to get through. I think there was some free mode mixed in there, which I know a lot of people aren't a fan of free mode, but that was a tough one. So two really good ones, Kendall and Rebecca Kennedy.
That's awesome. Well, you're going to be very shocked. But my pick of the week is going to be a tread workout. So I did Maddie's Women's History Month run on Tuesday. That's the 16th. It was Tuesday the 16th. Didn't do it live, but did it later that day. And it was amazing. It was just a 20-minute run. I was really impressed with myself, I have to say. Now, I've mentioned on the show before, I'm not actually really allowed to run. I had back surgery twice with herniated and deviated discs that was caused from running when I was younger. And I did feel it afterwards, but the music was amazing. I mean, he just had all the divas on there, and the music was really incredible. So I have to say I did it, and it was definitely my pick of the week. But you know, John, I absolutely, and I want to give him a shout out because I thought it was just so kind and so sweet, because we had spoken about it last week, and I had said that I, don't get on the tread very much. And one of my community members that I've become friendly with, Tony Sinkinson out in the UK, we've actually had Cinco on the show before. Tony had recently got a tread. He's an avid cyclist and had been, pushing out almost, I think probably right around where you are as far as rides go. But he recently got a tread, and he sent me such a lovely message after the show on Sunday and said, "Hey, Amanda, if you ever want a running buddy or you want somebody to jump on the tread with you so that you can talk about it on the show, please just DM me, and I'm happy to do it." And I thought that was so kind and so
That's
lovely
nice, yeah.
that Tony had taken the time and the effort, and he even had given me some options to do it. And then, of course, when I did run on Tuesday, I think I had tagged you and Tony in my post, and he was so sweet, and he said, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I said, "You know what, Tony, it was so last minute. They delivered my new tread. I wanted to make sure it was working properly before Mark came home." So he didn't come and say to me, "Did you test it? Is it working okay?" And I said I would certainly let him know in the future if I did do it. But so I just wanted to give Tony a shout out. Cinco, thank you. And you will definitely be on my radar the next time I do perhaps a walk run next time and not a full run, because the back definitely felt it afterwards. So So, boy, John, we got through a lot of news in a pretty good lick of time. I'm pleased because this week we have an interview, and it's going to be one that I don't think anybody's going to want to miss. We haven't had an interview for the last couple weeks. We've had lots of news to report, but this week's interview is fun, and I'm telling you guys, stay on, because it is going to be one that you're not going to want to miss. A really cool Peloton story. Now it's time for Pelo Chat. We are so thrilled and pleased to welcome community members Alan and Jen this week. Guys, are you there?
Hi.
Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am thrilled to have you both on the show this week. We have a really exciting story to tell, and I think that a lot of the community have been waiting for something like this to happen. There's no question that one of the things about Peloton, which has been so fantastic, is that it is a community, right? And through this bike that goes nowhere, or the tread, we've connected with folks. And whether it be girlfriends, whether it be arbitrary friends, or whether it be just a man and a woman who end up finding love. So I am going to let you take it from here, and I want you to tell me right from the very beginning how it all started. So why don't we go with you, Jen, being ladies first, having you tell us a little bit about yourself first, and how you found the bike. Then we'll give Alan a chance to tell us a little bit about himself and how he found the bike, and then we'll get to the juicy bit. So Let's go.
Yeah, so I live in San Jose, California, and I'm a single mom. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I just passed my 3-year mark. I got my little 3-year, I guess I have a 3-year streak as of last week, so that was exciting. Wow. And I ride probably 5 to 6 days a week, although Alan has a tread and brought it here, so I've been riding a little bit less now. I've been doing I've been riding 5 to 6 days a week for most of the last 3 years, and I started doing Power Zone challenges 6 months in, and I just fell in love with the challenges, and I joined a team there. Angie, who set up Power Zone, started teams, and I joined a team, and I joined a solo team because, with my daughter and with travel, I wasn't always sure that I could do all the rides every week, and I didn't want my team counting on me. I didn't want to let anybody down. So I joined a solo team, and our solo team became sort of my community. It became really close on Facebook with a bunch of our team members. And when COVID started, they started to have Zoom calls. And so I felt comfortable joining because I'd been talking to these people, and they'd been listening to my story on Facebook and holding me accountable and cheering me on for a year and a half. And so when they started Zoom calls, I joined, and that's the starting point of how we met, and I'll let Alan introduce himself now.
Awesome. All right, Alan, all you.
Right. All me. So for me, I got out of the military about 2017, and I was in really good shape then. And then I kind of just stopped working out and let myself go. And I'm 5'9", but I got up to over 200 pounds, and so I just needed a change. So I started looking at exercise equipment and all that, and I wanted to find something that wouldn't become my clothes rack in my bedroom or anything, something that I would use. And a friend of mine was talking about the Peloton, and so I ordered one, got it, and then started doing some rides, trying which ones I liked, and I ended up liking the Power Zone rides a lot. And then, like Jen was saying, with the teams and all that, decided to join a riding team, and then I was getting ready to go on vacation before the challenge started, so I needed to join a solo team, and they put me on the same team as her. And then we never really talked at the beginning and all that, but it wasn't until whenever COVID started and everything started getting locked down and all that, our team decided to start doing Zoom calls. And so we got on the Zoom calls, and I saw her on my screen. I was like, wow, I'd like to get to know her a little bit better. But pretty shy, and wanted to be respectful and all that. But then she posted a picture of her and her family on Facebook, and I commented on it, and then that's how the conversation started. And then everything just led to here.
That is just amazing. And, I'd love to, I'm hoping that through you guys being so wonderful and coming onto the show and chatting with us gives an opportunity for others to either come out of the woodwork and tell us about their stories too, or more importantly, just recognize that there is an opportunity. And we kind of joked about, and I'm blanking now, I believe it was Jess Sims that did it, but she was doing her Tuesday nights, speed dating on the tread, right? And we kind of laughed at it and said, well, how do you get to meet somebody? But what an amazing thing. We all obsessed with the same thing, right? And it was funny because I was just having this discussion with my parents just this morning, and I said to them, they said to me, "You're so obsessed with this." And I said, yeah, because it's a community-based, what a great obsession to have, firstly. And it's community-driven. We are driven by the support that we get from one another. And clearly you guys found that within each other. So so that is a wonderful way of introducing both of you. But now I know that nobody wants to hear me talk. We want to hear about how things started to develop. So fill us in.
So I'd say the catalyst for it really starting was that our Zoom group decided to have a prom. And that was probably the same day, I believe, as he and I started, or the same week that we had started texting sort of all day long throughout the day. And so that Saturday, we have Zoom calls every Saturday at 3:00.
And we still do.
Yeah. And so we were on the call and they were talking about the prom. And it was just just for everybody to get dressed up and be silly. And he texted me during the call and said, "Will you go to prom with me?" And apparently the answer "sure" doesn't translate very well on text because he was a little disappointed. But he said he saw my face and he saw me smile. So, and then we started texting about matching outfits and seeing if the team would recognize that we were sort of trying to go together.
Yeah.
But I'll let him tell more. But by the time the prom happened, that actually turned out to be the first day that our first date. He flew out here, and it was the weekend of the prom. It was unintentional, but it was sort of a coincidence. But that's
fantastic.
So we joined the prom together, and we had clued everybody in earlier that day that we were together. So we were like the main topic of conversation that day.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. So tell me, Alan, were you a little nervous that Jen was on board, or when you decided to ask her to the prom?
Well, yeah, I guess.
I'm asking you for honesty here.
Yeah. Okay. Honesty. Yes. No, I kind of figured she would say yes because we had been talking a little bit. Obviously, I didn't know that it was going to lead to this, and that wasn't even on my mind. I just thought we would dress up alike and that we wouldn't be together. But just from 3,000 miles away, because I was living in Alabama, and she's here in California, that they could see our costumes. So the theme that we picked was from Pretty in Pink.
Yes.
So I was,
wow.
I dressed up like Ducky, and then she was dressing up like Molly Ringwald. But then the prom actually got postponed, I think a week or two. And it just so happened that I was flying up here to spend the weekend with her. So, hurried up and changed. I had my uniform or my costume shipped up here. And then we spent the weekend in Napa. And that day we were, took a picture of me at a winery. And then 10 minutes later, took a picture of her at the same winery and posted it on our Facebook pages. And then people were kind of starting to put two and two together and realize that we were together. And then we joined up for prom on the Zoom call side by side, and it was pretty neat.
That was fun.
That is just amazing. I mean, that is just amazing. So, so let's kind of fast forward a little bit. So, obviously, you guys met and decided that, yep, you clearly were compatible, and there was definitely sparks that were flying. And so you went back to Alabama, and how kind of give us some indication as to what happened from there.
Okay. Well, yeah, went back to Alabama, and then we just FaceTime every single night. And then it was about 4 weeks later, I flew back out here for another weekend, and then flew out here for Thanksgiving week, and then flew out here for Christmas. But in between, like, we didn't miss a single day of FaceTiming and all. And I had just bought a brand new house in July of this last year and moved in, had a really good job and all that. But then, just started thinking about making a decision, and, what am I going to do? I was happy with my life. I was content, had a good job, good house, good location, but it's like, there's something missing in my life. So I just took that jump, and here I am.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say I'm doing everything that I can to pull myself together, because I am a little bit of a crier, and I'm feeling very moved right now by what you're telling me. It's amazing. Go ahead, Jen, please.
Oh, well, so I think he made the trip. The second trip, I think he probably bought his ticket about 3 days after he got back from the first one. I still don't think at that point we were thinking like really long term. I mean, we were like, we still were like, okay, this is long distance, and we didn't know exactly where things were going to land. But then I think by the end of September, by the time, a couple weeks after that, we were actually already talking about him moving here. And we knew also his work got really hairy in October, November. He was working 72-hour weeks, 12-hour days, 6 days a week for 5 or 6 weeks. And he was going to have to do it again in March. And I said, no, you got to be here by March. You got to quit that job by March. So that was our goal. So once we just wanted to make sure he stayed at work through January 1st, and he actually resigned on January 2nd. So
that is amazing. I think what the pandemic has taught us all is, no one ever knows what's going to happen, right? And there is no question that living in the moment is what one needs to do, and it is truly the most incredible story. It just is, because I think it gives certainly folks hope. As well as, it was funny because I have young adult children, and one of the things I had said was, it's so hard to meet people, in the pandemic, but clearly I got to get them on the Peloton platform and more active, because clearly that one can. But yeah, I mean, it could have turned a different way. One could have made, for so many people. But I think what Peloton did do, and it just shows even in a relationship perspective, it had a positive outcome. It had a positive outcome, which is what the bike has done, or the tread has done for all of us that really committed to being involved and changing our lives. So wow, that is just amazing. So Alan, you packed it all up, hey? And you moved across country and moved to San Jose, right, Jen? You're in San Jose. Yep,
That's right.
Moved to San Jose. And I know that there's something else you want to share with us.
Well, your turn.
So he wasn't going to do all that for nothing. So we had started talking about getting married probably in November. And we actually started looking at rings together when he came out here at Thanksgiving. And then last weekend, he asked me to marry him. So we're getting married this August. And we're really excited. Oh, and we both have daughters that have the same birthday. I forgot to tell you
Oh
about
my
that
goodness, that's
coincidence.
crazy. Oh, that's so cool. So
17 years apart, but
how
the same
do your
birthday.
girls feel about this?
Mine is ecstatic, but she's 5, and she wanted a daddy, and now she's got one. I think Holly's happy that her dad's happy.
My daughter's excited. She's 22, going to finishing her senior year of college, and right outside of DC.
Oh wow!
She's
Okay, so
definitely
where is she at college? I'm in Maryland.
George Mason.
Nice,
University.
yeah, in Virginia. Absolutely, That's a great school. That's awesome. Yeah, and I'm sure she just wants to see you happy, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
She's a great kid.
clearly that's what the two of you are. I mean, this is truly an amazing, huge congratulations, certainly from us here at Pelo Buddy TV. And I was just going to ask, I didn't want Oh my God, wait, it's beautiful. I can't see, I need to see. Oh, Jen. You'll have to send Chris a picture that we can put on. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh my goodness, Alan, you certainly didn't stint there. That is one beautiful, beautiful ring, Jen. I mean,
Thank you.
Amazing.
He did a good job.
He did do a good job. And you know what? I mean, this just proves that this is you know what, Chris, I'm sure Chris Giles, while he's listening to this, is probably laughing because I'm about to say I'm at a loss for words. I knew your story, I knew the premise of your story, but hearing it from the two of you has moved me beyond. I just think it's amazing, and we are so happy for both of you, and only wish you tons of just happiness and good years. And you know what, if you can get through what you've gotten through in a pandemic and in, crazy times and living across country, gosh, you are definitely, it's there. The golden path is laid for the two of you. And that's amazing. So tell me, wedding is going to be when?
It's in August in Napa.
What date?
August 7th.
Okay. So I will celebrate.
Wedding.
I will celebrate my 30th wedding anniversary on August 4th.
Oh, congratulations!
So really, I mean, come on, that's awesome. And how beautiful. I mean, you said that was your first date, right? Was that, or your first real date? Was that Napa? It was in Napa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you'll go back to where
originally going to try to actually do the wedding on the anniversary of our first date, but my daughter starts school like a couple days before that, so we decided to
was that in
earlier.
August too? Is that later in August?
20, that was August 21st. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, that grade gives you an opportunity to celebrate and enjoy, and she'll probably be going into first grade, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's amazing. So the big question, I know that all our Peloton viewers are asking, 2 bikes and the tread now? Or do we sell 1 bike?
No, right now we're 2 bikes and a tread, so it's a very busy bedroom.
I love it.
We might sell one of the bikes, or else my parents have a vacation home. We might put it there. So
that's awesome. Yeah. That's so awesome. And are you still power zoning?
Not as much.
Yeah,
we're really into
much.
boot camps right now. So
Awesome.
We're really enjoying boot camps a lot.
Yeah.
So
That's fantastic. Yeah. So I guess the next step, is there anything else that this is just amazing. And I really am at a loss of words because I think it's just fantastic. And clearly when you've been married for 30 years, this does sound quite phenomenal.
the only thing I love about our story is that it's just organic. It's not like, there are other groups that have Zoom calls that are meant for people to meet each other, and the speed dating thing. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But we just met because we were both on the same team. And, even though it was virtual, I don't feel like it was, something contrived or anything. It was just natural. And that's what I love about this community and our story.
And you hit the nail. I think I 100% agree with you. The fact that it was organic and it just kind of happened naturally, I guess just proves that it's meant to be. And I'm a huge believer in fate. So clearly the two of you were meant to be, and how perfect. And with a common love of Peloton, I mean, come on, right? That is just the be all and the end all. So
there's one other thing. 1/3 of the guests at our wedding will be Peloton members, and he's met one of them. We actually have not met any of them in real life except for one.
It's going to be a wedding and a group meet.
Is that amazing? Well, yeah. I mean, you know what? Again, that is this community. There is no question. We say, it's folks that we've never met, and I was just on an IG Live before I hopped on here, and we were just saying that we're almost embarrassed to say that we speak to our Peloton friends more than we do, friends we've had for years and years and years. But there's that commonality and there's that link, and we all are in it for the same reasons. Well, the majority of us are in it for the same reasons, which is so fantastic. So I look forward to many more updates from you two. No question after the wedding we're getting you back on the show. We want to hear all about it and how things are going, because I know the community are going to want to follow you for sure, and get to hear how things are going. And we really, really appreciate both of you taking the time to share the story. I think it's just probably one of my best fun interviews that I've done. No question. This is just fantastic. What we do like to do, though, is we do it, and we'll figure out how we'll do it with the two of you, and maybe you can just each fire away your answers to me. But I actually like to end off the show with something fun. And we do something called our descent and recovering. And actually what could maybe be fun, and maybe I'll switch things around a little bit, is you could answer for each other, and you could tell me what the other one thought, and we can see whether they're right or wrong. That may be a good way to do it. So if Chris in control room is telling me that it's good to go that way, then definitely maybe we can do something like that. But basically what I'll do. Yeah, sounds good. So what I'm going to go ahead is fire away questions, and don't answer what you would do, but answer what your partner's what you think your partner would do, and then I want to get an up or a down, so I can see how on tune the two of you are with each other. Right? This is going to be your first dating quiz, right? You haven't had one before.
No.
I love it. So if you guys are ready, there is a 60-second clock that you see, and we're going to have 60 seconds to get to answer those questions. All right?
All right.
All right. So we'll go ladies first. So we'll have Jen answer, and then we'll have Alan answer, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. Bike or tread?
Tread.
All right. Perfect. All right. Favorite instructor?
Jess Sims. I'm answering for him. Shoot.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Matt Wilpers.
Jess Sims.
Oh, she gave it away. All right, you're answering for each other, remember. High cadence or high resistance?
High resistance.
High cadence.
Early bird rider or night owl?
Night owl.
Early bird.
I love this. Meditation or strength training?
Strength.
Yeah? Wow. All right, live or on-demand classes?
On demand.
Live.
Oh, look at you. All right, so now if you may not know these, but first class Alan's ever taken?
No idea.
Do you know the first class Jen took?
Probably the Dennis Morton 10-minute beginner's ride.
Nope.
No?
All right, we had to have one that you guys couldn't get, and the clock went away a long time ago, but I had so much fun doing that. Oh my goodness, thanks guys for being such awesome sports. And of course I know that everybody watching is going to want to know your leaderboard name. So if you are comfortable sharing that with us, you're going to have a ton more followers, and we'll ensure, Alan, that they're just followers and that nobody's messaging her, and vice versa.
We actually have a funny story for our leaderboard name.
Say that again.
we actually have a pretty funny story for our leaderboard name. So
Go for it. Tell me.
So my last name is Hughes, and her last name is Margulies. And so our team kind of combined the two names together, so now we're Huggies.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm J underscore Huggies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm A underscore Huggies.
Yeah. Love it. I love it. Guys, honestly, this is the most amazing story. We only wish you the best of luck. As I said, happiness. I can only see this being an amazing future for the two of you. And I mean it. I'd love to get you back on here after the wedding, and hopefully we get to share some of your wedding pictures and hear how things are going. But truthfully, I am thrilled and delighted that you agreed to be on here. And while I had said to you pre-show recording, I had really wished that you were going to be proposing on my show. I'll take the fact that you did propose, and we have a wedding that is being organized. So from us here at Pelo Buddy TV, best of luck to both of you, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
So yeah, John, wasn't that a cool story? I guess Peloton has a way of bringing couples together from all over the country, perhaps even the world. And we were so thrilled to have gotten Alan and Jen to share their amazing story. And I felt really chuffed that I got to interview them. Sorry that you were on the road and weren't able to do the interview.
I was like, when did this go down? Where was I?
Daddy duties, I know. Daddy duties, right? Didn't
I got cut out.
A hockey? I know. I'm sorry. But I guess trying to get an interview in for we had felt bad that we haven't done an interview in a while. So that was a fun one to have done, and I'm so excited for Alan and Jen.
Awesome.
Anything else from you?
That about does it for Michigan. That wraps it up.
All right. So from Florida this week and for the next couple of weeks, we will see you soon. Bye for now, everybody.
Yeah. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard, and take care.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag, and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.